Sure enough. Now stop. The best generation, Allah allowed them time to make progress on the road. And what do? If a drunk guy walked into the masjid today, he's had 2-3 beers, you can smell it from 10 feet away, and he, I want to pray. What are we going to do with him? We're going to beat him up and kick him out. And once you kick him out, where's he going to go? Back to the bar. He's going to go back to drinking. He came to the house of Allah. He took a step. He took such a big step. And you said, go back. This step is not good enough for us. You're not good enough for us. Allah wants you to make progress on the road. And you have to let other people make progress on the road. And maybe some of them will take their time, and some of them will move quickly. You know, Allah gave the example of growing things on the ground, right? There's a farmer. And by the way, some of you have these, so many. I think maybe in the last year, this question was repeated at least 1,000 times in my lectures. People came to me at least 1,000 times and asked this one question. Let me tell you what the question is. Brother, my husband doesn't pray. My son doesn't pray. My wife doesn't pray. My sister doesn't pray. My uncle doesn't pray. My father doesn't pray. How do I get them to pray? How do I change them? Tell me one thing I can say to them and they'll change. And I say, okay, hold on. I got nothing. Does a farmer, what's step 1 in farming? You put the seed in the ground, yes? You put the seed in, then you put water. Then you go to sleep. Then you wake up. Make sure the soil is clean. Then you put water again. Then you go to sleep. You wake up. You put water again. Remove the insects. Make dua. Ya Allah, take care of this plant. Does the farmer see any progress? Yes or no? He sees no progress. All the things that are happening under the ground. The farmer doesn't say, if there was one thing I could do, it could just change right now and turn into a tree. Let me dig it up, take the seed out, make a tree out of it. Does it work like that? Allah compared the Quran coming down to water coming down. And when water comes down, the life on the earth grows immediately or grows over time? It grows over time. When the Quran will enter somebody's heart, they will change immediately or change over time? They will change over time. Abu Bakr as-Siddiq changed immediately. But so many Sahaba changed over time. Umar ibn al-Khattab, 5 years. It took some time. Abu Sufyan, many more years. It took a lot of time. It doesn't happen overnight. People only quote the example of Abu Bakr as-Siddiq. By the way, Abu Bakr as-Siddiq is an extremely amazing example. Even for the Sahaba, he's too high of an example. What about you? People quote the greatest example and make you feel bad. There are so many other Sahaba, hundreds of thousands of them, radiyallahu anhum wa radu anhu, that did not transform the same way as Abu Bakr as-Siddiq, radiyallahu ta'ala anhu. They took their time, and Allah is happy with them too. Allah is happy with them too. Call people with wisdom. Let them grow. Let them listen. Let them listen. I was giving a lecture in England. When I finished my lecture, a woman came up to me and said, please don't tell anyone, I'm Shia. I've been listening to your lectures for a year. It's really helped me a lot. Please don't tell anyone. You know why? Because it's Birmingham, England. Whew, that place is crazy. You know. Other guy comes up to me, brother, Assalamu alaikum. This is my wife, myself, and there's about 50 of our friends. We are from the Baha'i religion. We've been listening to your lectures for a long time. Please don't tell anyone. I'm like, yeah, welcome. Assalamu alaikum. Sit, relax. I don't need to go after and start having debates with the Shia person or the Baha'i person or any other person for that matter. Why? Because my only concern is to get the water to the heart. That's all. The rest, who will do? The rest, Allah will do that. You're not going to do that. Allah will do that. That's up to Allah what He does. That's not up to me. We don't give people a chance. We're too busy arguing with them and debating with them and pushing them further away from Islam. This is not wisdom. This is just not wisdom. Call people to the path of your Rabb using wisdom. Bil hikmah. And then he says, وَالْمَوْعِظَةِ الْحَسَنَةِ. Call people with beautiful, heart-penetrating advice. Give people advice that will go to their heart, that will get inside their heart. Now what does that mean? It could mean a lot of things, but I'm going to keep it brief for you guys. Simple lesson. Sometimes you say things that make someone angry. Sometimes you say things that they are willing to accept, and sometimes you say things that make them more upset and they don't want to listen to you. You have to find a way of saying things that will melt someone's heart, that will get inside their heart. They won't get defensive. Let me give you an example. You know the famous story of Hassan and Hussein radiallahu ta'ala anhuma, when he saw a man making wudu incorrectly. You remember the story? Right? They were making wudu, he was making wudu incorrectly, so what did they do? They say, hey, you are such an old man. You should know better. Astaghfirullah, you don't even know how to make wudu? You should be ashamed of yourself. Let me show you how to make wudu. Did they do that? No. If they do that, the older gentleman might be very upset. Like, get really upset with them. What do they do instead? They just quietly make wudu next to him. And his heart melts. These young boys are taking their time making wudu. I should take my time making wudu. Yes or no? In other words, they used wisdom. And they used al-maw'idha al-hasana. Al-maw'idha al-hasana means you give advice in a way that softens somebody's heart. You don't give advice in a way that hardens somebody's heart. If they are in a mood to argue with you and fight with you, leave them alone. إِذَا خَاطَبَهُمُ الْجَاهِلُونَ قَالُوا سَلَامًا. When people get emotional, leave them alone. Don't need to argue. No need to debate. Da'wah is not the same as debates, people. I was giving da'wah to my cousin. We were arguing for 3 hours. You're not giving da'wah. I don't know what you're doing, but it's not da'wah. That's not da'wah. When people are getting silly, people are getting emotional, people are getting obnoxious, you just back off. Maybe another time. We'll talk again. It's okay. You don't have to convince people right away. And then there's those of you that say, man, I did my part. Now the matter is in the hands of Allah. Like this brother came to me, you know, my brother, he doesn't pray, so I told him, if he doesn't pray, that he will burn in Jahannam. And I quoted the ayah to him, you know, فَلَا صَدَّقَ وَلَا صَلَّى وَلَكِنْ كَذَّبَ وَتَوَلَّى. You know, I quoted the ayat to him and he still didn't listen. Now I can tell Allah that I did my part. I said, if I wouldn't go to jail, I would have slapped you right now. What do you mean you did your part, you monkey? We follow the example of the prophets, alayhimu salatu wassalam. Did they recite the ayat onto people one time and say, well, I did my part. Ya Allah, just take them out. Let the flood begin. It doesn't work like that. You give somebody advice, then you go back, then you go back, then you go back, then you go back, then you go back until you die. Until you die. And then some people come to me and say, but Nuh alayhi salam, eventually he gave up. I was like, okay, when you live 950 years, you give up too. Next time you quote Nuh alayhi salam, get a little bit older. Then you can tell me about Nuh alayhi salam. You know? We don't use hikmah. We just don't use hikmah. We don't use al-maw'idha al-hasana. Good advice, sound advice. Make people feel better. You know, I will tell you, maybe I'll get in trouble for saying this, and I don't care. I'll just tell you how I see it. You know, one of the things that really hurt me when I came here? One of the things that really hurt me, really hurt me, is that people that are taxi drivers, all over the Gulf, I'm not talking about them, all over the Gulf, people that are taxi drivers, or people that are, you know, servants, the cleaning crew in the hotels, people that are working in the stores, you know, people that are cleaning the streets. We pass by them and we don't even say salam to them. We don't even say salam. These are just, and it hurts me, man. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam says, Al-Kasibu Habibullah. Al-Kasibu Habibullah. The one who works hard to earn his money is the beloved of Allah. Allah loves the one who works hard to earn his money. The guy, the Pathan guy who's making naan all day, and his shalwar kameez is like brown, even though it's white, it's turned brown and gray. He worked all day, and he passes by, you're like, ye kaise log aa gaye? No, wait a second. Al-Kasib, Habibullah. At the very least, they deserve your salams. At the very least, they deserve your salams. And we've ingrained this idea that some people are better than others. There's no such thing in this religion. Every human being is equal. Every human being is equal. And especially the Muslims. إِنَّمَا الْمُؤْمِنُونَ مَاذَا إِخْوَةً, not darajat. إِنَّمَا الْمُؤْمِنُونَ إِخْوَةً. All believers are equal. This guy comes to me, he worked at the hotel, he recognized me. Sir, can I take a picture with you? And I was like, why are you calling me sir, bro? I'm your brother. Okay, sir. Sir, brother, can I take a picture with you? It's embedded in the mind that some people are better than them. That's not right. That's not right. People are dignified. This is religion. We stand in one row, yes or no? You don't check somebody's passport before you put them in the first row. You don't say, hey, how much money you make? Oh, you go fourth row. You don't do that. The salah itself teaches us that every human being is supposed to be treated equally. Your maw'idah hasana in this society and in so many Muslim societies. This is happening in Pakistan. This is happening. I'm not even picking on the Gulf, guys. I'm not even picking on. This is happening in Pakistan, Egypt, Bangladesh, India. You go there, some rich family goes and they go to a restaurant, and I saw it with my own eyes one time. They go to a restaurant and there's, the tinted windows and their kid rolls the automatic window down. He's like 12-year-old boy inside, rich boy, 12 years old. And the old man who comes to, Sir, chai ladu, sir? And the old man, 60-year-old man, and he says, Ya leke aa. Go get it. Like he's talking to somebody like 5 years old or something. Ji main lekha tum, sir. Ji. Man, if I wasn't going to get arrested, I would have taken that kid out of that shit. They're older. That's an older person. You treat them with respect. You treat them with respect. What's the point of memorizing Quran, studying the book of Allah, and you don't treat the janitor with respect, and the cleaner with respect, and the taxi driver with respect? You don't treat. What are you learning? Why are you learning this? What's the point? So we have to change our thinking. This is maw'idah hasana for you. To make people feel dignified in this society. Give them good counsel. Speak to them like equals. Speak to them with respect. Every human being deserves respect. Every human being. And I told you today, it's not just the Muslims. Every human being should be treated with respect. Why in the world would they want to come close to Islam when they see us behave like this? What reason have we given them? People keep saying the problem of the ummah is the political problem. It's the economic problem. It's the social problem. It's the education. I say no. The problem of the ummah is the hikmah problem. It's the hikmah problem. It's the maw'idah hasana problem. That's the real problem we have. And there, by the way, in da'wah, that doesn't mean you're always soft. This is the wisdom of Allah. Everything is balanced. You're not always soft. Sometimes people attack you. Sometimes people make fun of you. Sometimes people insult your Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam. When that happens, this is not the time to be soft. This is the time to be tough. And so what does he say? Ud'u ila sabili rabbika bil hikmah wal maw'idhatil hasana wajadilhum billati hiya ahsan. And debate with them, argue with them, take them head on with something that is better. With what is better. If they argue, you argue with something better. If they use anger, you use calmness. If they use dirty words, you only use clean words. Because every time you respond, it should be with something what? Something better. It should be with something better.